Micdup.
Highlights from Lowlifes. Highlights from Lowlifes.
Welcome again, everybody, to Highlights from Lowlifes, your pre-Thanksgiving show. Tonight we have a festive topic. Major League Baseball players who have criminal records. You know, it's something we can all celebrate. Now, remember, we're talking about criminal records. So just because somebody's accused of taking steroids, did they get convicted of anything? Probably not. They probably haven't even admitted they did something. So we went for those that lost in the courts and ended up serving some time or paying some heavy fine of some kind. And I'm sure off the top of your head, you can name several drug abusers that were sent to jail, and those will be fodder for this evening. But I personally went to try to not get any duplicates. So I've got a list, and I've got to tell you, this was a fascinating topic. I couldn't believe the things that some people did. And some of it was because they thought they were above the law because they were Major League Baseball players. So there are a few instances of guys serving time before they became major leaguers. So we can touch on those as well. If you'd like to add your own, hit the microphone down at the bottom of the screen, and you've got 30 seconds during the countdown to leave us a note. And if we like it, we'll play it on the air. All right. You guys ready? All right, let's talk criminals. Robbie, start us off.
All right. I doubt you might have this on your list. Billy Gear. Billy Gear joined the New York Mutuals in 1874.
Oh, JC knows him.
Yeah.
They
You
went
might
to
have played
high
against
school
him.
together.
Yeah.
He didn't impress me as much of a player when I saw him.
Yeah. And apparently that's true everywhere that he went. He went on to play with Hartford and New Haven. While he was with New Haven in the National Association, I believe, he and another teammate were in Toronto at the Tecumseh Hotel, where they were arrested for stealing a number of goods from the hotel, including a policeman's revolver, a gold watch, and a whole bunch of dress coats.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
the
some
team,
huevos.
New Haven, immediately suspended both of them. But Gear, believe it or not, Gear was acquitted for lack of evidence. So he went on to join Syracuse, where he was the starting shortstop and the team captain. And then in 1878, he became a Cincinnati Redleg. So he played in and out of baseball. He played in Cincinnati for a couple of years. He was a middling player, good enough to stick, but not a superstar by any stretch. And kind of in and out of ball until 1887, when he was arrested for grand larceny in New York.
Wow.
He passed a lot of bad checks, most of them for cash. At the time, he was also charged with forgery in Detroit, larceny in Louisville, which sounds like a country song, really. Larceny in Louisville.
Yeah.
And then once again, he got charged with forgery and larceny in Louisville. So he seemed to elude conviction for quite a while, but realizing the feds were onto him, he set out on a forgery spree around the country, eventually leading to another arrest in Boston for writing 2 checks to cash for $700. And, this is the 1880s. $700 is no small sum. During this spree, he used several different aliases and was found to have a full forger's setup. He had fake checks from nearly every major bank in the country, a collection of wigs, mustaches, and all the other articles of disguise like you would see in a Bugs Bunny cartoon. So,
did he have a fake nose and glasses?
Yeah, exactly. So they finally caught him in 1892, and he served 4 years and was released in 1896, whereupon he went right back at it. He went to Salt Lake City until he started feeling the heat there. Then he went to Boston, And then he got smart and he started using several different aliases. So he would get arrested, like in San Diego. The Pinkertons found him. They arrested him, and so they arrested Benedict Barrington, not Billy Gear. So Benedict, and yeah,
An
he
effective
served
alias.
a little. Yeah, exactly. Served a
He's
little time
slippery.
there. Went on to up to Michigan, where he was being transported to jail and escaped.
Mhm.
So, then he was finally caught again, put in prison in Virginia. And then right after his release in 1904, he was arrested in Iowa for forgery.
Ooh.
He spent 2 more years in prison, and he came back out, this time with a new strategy. Don't stay in any one place for more than a week. So he roamed all over the country, the Gulf of Mexico, some of the Caribbean countries, writing bad checks. He was arrested and jailed at least 3 more times where he escaped. And oftentimes he was arrested under the aliases, and they never did find out he was the same guy. So he usually got off. He got probation or short sentences because he appeared to be a first-time offender. So the last time he was arrested was in Joplin, Missouri, in the early 1900s. Where he was released by the an illness an illness pardon from the governor because he was very sick and he died less than 3 months after. But that's a hell of a spree for Billy Gear, Benedict
Ooh.
Barrington, H.D. Wallace, and all the other myriad names he had.
Wow.
He is a
That one's
character.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
not bad for a
Yeah.
250 hitter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
So I don't know about you guys, but I can't see JC.
I
JC, is
can't
your
either.
video on? Yeah.
He's
Can you see
going.
me now?
Nope.
No, no. We can hear you.
And it says your audio's off.
There he
Oh, there
is.
you go.
No,
There you
my
go.
audio's
Here.
on. I can see.
Yeah,
Okay.
we can see you now. All right.
Okay. Very
Cool.
good.
All right, Robbie, that was very impressive. I think that should be made into a movie.
The hero's arc, like we talked about.
Who's up next?
Let's have JC go before his camera shuts down again.
Okay.
There
Very
you go.
good. Very good. I like it. I entitled this one "Local Boy Makes Good." This pitcher drafted number 1 in 1992, 26 overall by the Twins.
Oh yeah.
First round. Out of Sarah High School in San Mateo. Remember that high school because it comes in later. He got to the Twins early in 1996 and started. He didn't exactly impress in 4 1/3 innings, giving up 5 runs and an ERA of 10.38. Not surprisingly, he was sent down. But he did play for the Twins until 98. Then he got to the Chicago Cubs as a pitcher, the Padres, the Pirates, the Whales of the Japanese League, the Reds, the Marines of the Japanese League, and the Onyx Buffaloes. That's important
Yep.
because he goes to the Colorado Rockies, and he is a left-handed specialist throwing. He didn't impress there either. I think he ended up with a 10.38 ERA and had no wins. But that wasn't the worst of it. The worst of it was he got a 50-game suspension in November of that year for PEDs. And he last played in 2012 for the Bridgeport Bluefish of the Atlantic League, and then retired from baseball. In 2021, his in-laws were attacked at their home in Lake Tahoe. The father-in-law died. The wife was badly injured, so badly that she committed suicide in the hospital later. And Dan Serafini
Yeah.
was tried and convicted in the Placer County Court in Roseville in July of murder, home invasion, burglary, the whole thing. So local boy makes bad.
Yep. Yep. I remember I've worked a lot of football games up at Sarah High School, and they used to have pictures of him up there to celebrate his making it to the big leagues, but they've since taken those down. So yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Why don't we go to Teddy Bear and see what he's got?
Okay. Well, this one kind of surprised me when I was looking over the list of folks that had been convicted, and it was a uh, in Puerto Rico on December 12th, 75. Orlando Cepeda went to pick up 2 cartons and 2 suitcases shipped from the Colombia from Colombia to the San Juan International Airport. The cartons were packed with 165 pounds of weed, all wrapped up in cowhide rugs. And once Orlando loaded everything onto his red Mercedes, U.S. Customs agents came and sprung their trap. They had been staking out those parcels for 2 days, and Cepeda was busted. So he served 10 months in prison and saw his reputation ruined in his home island. Uh, Following changes in his personal life, it kind of went downhill there for a while. Uh, he was not inducted into the Hall of Fame by the Baseball Writers Association of America. However, in 1999, he was elected in by the Veterans Committee, a decision that was influenced by his humanitarian work and contributions to baseball. So Cepeda's rehab and his work as a scout and goodwill ambassador for the San Francisco Giants helped him regain his reputation and contribute positively to the community. He worked as in '87. He worked as a scout and a goodwill ambassador for the Giants. But that surprised me. I didn't know that he got busted for something like that.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
met him a couple of different times at fantasy camp. He was a good guy.
He was a good guy.
Yeah.
I talked to him once about his conviction,
Uh-huh.
and he didn't deny any of it. He said I made some bad choices.
Yeah.
So mhm.
Yeah. They even took his Mercedes because they thought, he bought that with drug money. So they impounded it and sold it. He
Wow.
lost that one too. Webby, what do you got?
I have an interesting one. Um, Mike Pinky Higgins.
Oh,
You guys
damn
ever
it.
heard?
Oh, you took one of mine.
No,
Yeah.
so I'm reading about Mr. Higgins here, and from what I can tell, this guy had an amazing career in Major League Baseball. He started as a player, was relatively successful, then became a manager for 10 years, and then finished up as a general manager. So this
Oh,
is a
wow.
guy that was highly thought of for his baseball ability and knowledge. But from what I can tell, he was also a terrible person. Um, if many of you guys know that the Boston Red Sox were the last team to have a black player on the team,
Yep.
the last
Oh,
one
wow.
to integrate.
Uh-huh.
And it was, I believe it was 12 years after the Dodgers brought Jackie Robinson in that the Red Sox got their first black player, Pumpsie Green. And a lot of people have blamed the owner of the Red Sox at the time, Tom Yawkey, but they said one of the real villains was Pinky Higgins, who was either the manager or the general manager for much of that time. And he fought vigorously to prevent the black players from playing on the Red Sox or on any team that he was involved in. Eventually, the pressure became too much, and his beliefs were pushed aside. So Pinky basically was out of the game after 1965, and I think he was a bit bitter with the way things happened, and got a pension for drinking. And in 1968, he was arrested after killing one and injuring three others with his car. He
Ooh.
basically um, was driving drunk and killed these people, and he was sentenced to 4 years in prison. Well, interestingly, between the time of his conviction and the time of his sentencing, he had two heart attacks, but he recovered. After serving his time of only 2 months, so that wasn't much of a penalty for killing anybody, um, he probably got his comeuppance the day after he was paroled out of jail, 2 months into a 4-year term. He died of a heart attack at the age of 59.
Mm.
So I'm guessing, based upon what I'm reading here, that a lot of people thought, "Good riddance. This is a bad human being," um, and one that wasn't taking responsibility for himself. So look him up. Fascinating career, um, but not a very good human being. Mike Pinky Higgins. All right.
And Pumpsy Green was not at the funeral.
I bet he was not. I bet he was. All right. That is our first round in. JC, start us off on round 2.
All right. Well, I'm going to stay with pitchers. I actually know this guy. Uh, he played for the San Francisco Giants 1973 to 76, 77 for St. Louis, and 77 to 80 for San Diego, the Expos in 80, also the Angels in 81, Oakland in 82. Career record of 34 and 41, but a ERA of 4.56. Uh, he had 15 lifetime saves, but he was mainly a starting pitcher, and he had a few fairly good years for San Francisco. In 1996, he served 4 years in prison for essentially uh, racketeering, securities fraud, um, and but John D'Acquisto,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
he fell in with evil companions, some of which you guys know,
Mm-hmm.
and he was very frank about it in his book Fastball John. So I would recommend that to anybody. John D'Acquisto, a great artist, uh, a good writer, and a good guy. Fastball John. I recommend the book.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Hey,
I
I
like how
noticed.
John recognizes all the former baseball players when they pass away. He writes a nice blurb and puts it on social media and kind of get to
Yeah,
learn
he
about
puts
them a little
together.
bit.
It's what is that, like a collage
It's a
of
collage.
pictures? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Anytime somebody passes away, it's pretty cool.
it
Yeah.
is. It's very nice. It's very honorable for him to do
So,
that.
so JC, do you remember? So it was security fraud. What was he doing? What was the crime itself? Was he defrauding people, defrauding banks?
Yeah, it
What
was
was?
he explains it a little bit in his book. Uh, it's a Securities and Exchange Commission violation, essentially, uh,
Uh-huh.
and he didn't keep up on his reporting, and a couple of people got badly hurt by it financially, so they threw the book at him. Yeah,
Yeah.
Didn't he and Montefusco kind of run something out of the restaurant they had there in San Francisco also?
yeah. That that
Yeah,
that 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 he talks about that a little bit in the book too.
yeah,
He ran with the Count a lot, and the Count uh, never got challenged
yeah.
or arrested. So, Mr. Landerman, what do you got?
All right. This was kind of personal at the time. I think this was the first guy um, in my childhood and early youth where somebody got convicted of something and rose above it and then came back. it was one of those heartbreaking stories. In fact, it's a 1 in a million story. If you ever saw the made-for-TV movie 1 in a Million, the Ron LaFleur story.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So I, as a 10 or 12-year-old kid, when somebody like is on the verge of being a superstar, has this interesting backstory. Let's start with that backstory. He grew up in Detroit on the east side, which is tough part of. I mean, Detroit's tough, period, but it's a really tough part of Detroit. So he didn't have much of a chance. From his teen years, I think he got arrested the first time at 11. He enjoyed thievery, whether it was like shoplifting or holding somebody up on the street, whatever. He seemed to really enjoy that. And the older he got, the more brazen he got. And at one point as a youth, he spent 19 months in reform school, but that didn't really do anything for him. And then in 1970, he and two other guys were all jacked up on heroin and decided to hold up a neighborhood bar. And LaFleur was the
Yikes.
guy that carried the rifle. So when they were arrested, he was convicted um, uh, because of holding the rifle of armed robbery and got 5 to 15 year sentence. But when he got to prison, I mean, here's where like the story gets really good for a bit. When he got to prison, he found that he was really good at baseball, played with the prison team. And in fact, the funny story is another inmate, Jimmy Corralla, a name like that, he's got to be good, right? Huh? Forget
Yeah.
Oh
about
yeah, Jimmy.
it. Jimmy
Hey.
Coralla.
Hey, connected.
So interestingly enough, Jimmy Coralla had connections with Detroit Tigers manager Billy Martin.
Oh.
Another
And
upstanding
Coralla,
citizen.
yeah, and Coralla convinced Martin that this guy had major league talent. He was just really raw. So magically, somehow, through an intricate network of dealings, Ron LaFleur got a weekend furlough and a tryout with the Tigers.
Oh wow.
And apparently, he impressed them enough that when he was paroled on July 2nd, 1973, they immediately signed him to a contract and sent him to Single A, where Jim Leland was his first manager.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Leland was a little apprehensive at first, but then found that the guy really wanted to learn and played hard. And he had a decent season at Single A, and over the next a couple of years, he advanced his way up through the minor league system, showing great speed and pretty good bat. And he eventually made the Tigers. 1974. He started 59 of their last 60 games, and he hit 260 and a couple of home runs and stuff. But he had 23 stolen bases in those 59 games,
Yeah.
which clearly this guy may be a valuable weapon. And he was. Over the next 4 years, he became all-star caliber player. He was putting up stolen base numbers like we don't see 80s and 90s and hundreds anymore. But that was the era where guys stole bases, and the guys that did it excelled at it, and he was one of them. Unfortunately, he kind of got wrapped up in being an all-star, the trappings of stardom, women, and shady characters hanging around all the time, and there was rumors of drug use. And Sparky Anderson came in and took over the Tigers, and Sparky is a my way or the highway kind of guy, and Ron LaFleur got traded to the Expos. And he did steal 97 bases with the Expos in 1980, but
wow.
it's pretty clear that it was the cocaine. So and the Expos, they let him walk on the 1 year deal just because of they felt he was having a negative impression on their younger players.
Mm.
So they let him go. Where he signed with the White Sox. He played a couple of middling years with them, and he eventually was arrested twice for non-payment of child support. And one of those arrests happened at the closing ceremonies of Tiger Stadium on the
Oh,
final
wow.
day. They arrested him there. And then later on, he lost his leg to a vascular disease and can't steal anything anymore. So he's one of those guys. You could probably put him on the what could have been top 5 what could have been guys, because
Mhm.
I think he would have been one of the truly great fast guys of all time. But yep, Ron LaFleur.
Interesting.
Wow.
455 stolen bases in his career.
He played center field, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Keep that.
I mean,
speed
LeVar
in
Burton
center.
played him in the movie.
Oh, oh, LeVar
That's right.
Burton.
How awesome could that be?
Yeah. Pretty cool.
Yeah. All right, Webby, what do you got?
All right. I'm gonna use this one because I want to know if any of you guys know about the story and the time it happened. Ferris Fain,
Mhm.
longtime major league first baseman in the late 40s and early 50s, was considered at the time one of the best fielding first basemen that many of the players had ever seen. Good hitter, good contact hitter, not a lot of power, only 48 home runs in his career, but very very well thought of. But had a bit of a temper and would occasionally drink a little bit too much, um, and that caused him to start getting traded around. And he was out of the major leagues by 1955. We may have never heard of him again, but he resurfaced in the early 1970s in Georgetown, California, which I'm not exactly sure where that is.
That's up
It's
in the Sierra foothills, up above Sonora and all of that,
Yeah.
way up near
yeah.
the Nevada
It,
border.
it's near.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
not quite that
so
far.
I'll read you the crux of Ferris. Fain became a custom home builder in Georgetown, California in the 70s. In 1985, the Placerville, California Police Department raided his home where they found several marijuana plants in his possession. He was charged with growing marijuana and sentenced to 5 years probation. Fairly common for the time. In 1988, the police conducted another raid at his home where they found him growing another 400 plants of marijuana in a barn used as a grow house. Now, Fain was charged with possession to sell marijuana and was held without bail. He was sentenced to 18 months in prison. In a 1994 interview with the Sacramento Bee, Fain discussed his legal issues, and I love the way he says it. Um, I knew how to grow stuff. I was really good at it, just like baseball. And he says that was the way I was trying to make a living. So he led mostly a reclusive lifestyle with his second wife in his final years, with only the occasional interview. And he died in 2001 from complications from leukemia and diabetes.
Oh.
But, so today, what he did would be, lauded as a great businessman in the community. But when he did it, it was not quite as well thought of. So Ferris Fain, that's my number 2 pick. All right,
Nice. Yeah,
Brent, you have one for this round.
I do.
Okay.
This is Ralph Blackie Schwab. I went for the dangerous guy here. He was a pitcher for the St. Louis Browns back in 1948, and he got into some bad stuff. In 49, he was involved in the killing of a Long Beach, California physician named Dr. Donald Boogie, and the killing occurred during a dispute connected to organized crime and debt collection. So he must have owed money to somebody. I think he owed money to they said a Los Angeles mob figure. So he got in way over his head. The case received exclusive press coverage at the time because he was actively an MLB player. So he got sent to court and they charged him with first degree murder, found him guilty, and sentenced him to life. So he served approximately 11 years. He was paroled in 1960 for good behavior. And after his release, he played some semi pro baseball, but never returned to the MLB. But that's letting somebody out of prison that had a life sentence, and he's doing pretty good to get out of there.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
anywho, home Blackie Schwab.
All right. Okay, that's we're 2 rounds in. It's time for a break. What kind of break should we have?
Ooh, I'm a thirsty boy.
How about what you drinking?
All right.
That's what I'm
Cheers.
thinking. And as always, the Highlights from Low Life show is sponsored by our good friends at Almanac Beer Company, Alameda, California, clearly one of America's greatest craft brewers. Delicious beers, full flavored yet easy to drink. They've got everything from a nice, crisp, easy quaffing pilsner all the way up to barrel aged sours and bourbon barrel stouts and big, bold, rich beers. And we all take our turns talking about the beers we're drinking. I'm still weaning myself off of the last of the Rocktoberfest. There's not much left out there. If you can find it, get it. It's delicious beer, classic almanac, tons of flavor, yet easy to drink. What you guys drinking?
Well, I've got
Go ahead.
the True American Lager
Oh, nice.
almanac. Um, one of my favorite beers that they make is the True Kolsch, and they've replaced it with this. And until it comes back, this is a very, very good lager. And I'm a Pilsner lager Kolsch kind of guy, so I picked this up when I'm missing it. Comes in the shorter can, so even my last sip is cold. I like
Attaboy.
it.
Good logic. Good logic.
So I've got, and this is the first I've seen of it. Got it at Safeway today. It's Almanac Adventureland Pilsner. All right. You used to be able to only get this at the brewery, which they've turned into Adventureland, and they've got all sorts of activities there. This can has a map of the brewery on it, and it's a delicious pilsner. You can have a couple. It's only 4.9 alcohol by volume, so it's decent, lighter beer and very tasty. Almanac Adventureland Pilsner.
And you said you found that at Safeway?
That's correct. Yeah.
All right. All right. I
Previously, it
don't
was
know that
only
I've seen.
available. Previously, it was only available at the brewery on tap.
That's correct.
Excellent.
Oh,
All
so
right.
my Safeway's got some pull there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am drinking the Ballers Love IPA, which is the rebranded Love IPA, my favorite almanac beer. And this is the Oakland Ballers edition for the baseball team, an independent league. Um, just love this beer, and that's what I want in my next restock, Robbie. I want some Ballers Love IPA. So
I hear you, and Fruit Punch Sour Nova is on the way.
no fruit punch sour
No.
Nova.
It's clearly what you want and what you get.
I know. I know
Well,
you have a
anyway,
problem understanding.
no problem. They call me misunderstanding.
That's right. Misunderstand.
Anyway, thanks to Almanac once again. If you're in Alameda or can make a trip there, it's worth going out to their Adventureland Brewery. They're kid friendly, dog friendly. They have a couple of different food options. The place that they get all their malted barley from is literally right next door. You can see the barley getting stirred and prepared for brewing, and then walk right over and see it getting brewed at Almanac. So thanks to Almanac, and remember, if you stop by the brewery, make sure you tell them you heard about them from the Highlights from Lowlife show, and they may take pity upon you.
Thank you,
All
Almanac.
right.
Mhm.
Yes.
Cheers.
All right. Brent, you finished off that round.
I did.
Move us into round 3. Who starts?
How about Robbie? Start us in round 3.
All right. This guy is so prolific, I'm just going to list. And this is another one of those guys. He was kind of a lovable guy on the late 70s, early 80s Orioles. Sammy Stewart came up as a starter, became a really good relief pitcher. He could close games, he could pitch bulk innings. He was just a really versatile guy, and he had the big fluffy, almost an afro, almost a mullet combination hair and a big bushy mustache, and seemed to be happy and smiling all the time. Well, I guess there's a reason why he was always smiling. Um, what ended his career? The possession of crack cocaine. He was sentenced for 2 years, served 7 months. Then he got arrested for driving with a revoked license. He was sentenced and served for 5 months. Then he got arrested for drug possession and sentenced and served for 2 months. And then he got possession of crack, drug paraphernalia, and larceny and was sentenced and served 2 months. Now, how that one I don't get, but whatever. Just drug possession was 2 months. Paraphernalia, larceny, and drug possession got him 2 months. So go figure. Then he got arrested for drug possession, and he was sentenced and served for 4 months. And then he got arrested for drug possession, and he was sentenced and served for 5 months. And then he got felony drug charges in 2006, where he was sentenced and served for 6 years. So overall, his arrest record eclipses his win-loss record, as he was he was charged 46 different times with crimes with a total of 60 offenses. So, like, as a closer, those are good numbers, but
Yes.
as a human being, that's pretty bad. So he spent time in prison until 2013. Kind of tried to hide himself in North Carolina and stay out of the limelight. And he was found dead in 2018 of an apparent suicide that seems to be questioned by some people. So that's the end of
Wow.
old Sammy Stewart.
Wow, maybe I must have had a whole wing dedicated to him.
Yeah.
Revolving door.
And he was always such a funny baseball card because all that hair sticking out of the
Yeah.
hat and the big mustache. And anyway, what do you got, Webby?
All right, this one is truly fascinating. So I'm going to take us back to Donald Trump's first term in office, and they're interviewing. They're interviewing Christopher Wray to be, at the time, the pick to head the FBI. And one of the questions that gets asked, it's kind of a boilerplate question. Tell us about a case that you worked on that you'll always remember. And he says, "Oh, I got one." And he proceeded to tell the story of former Atlanta Braves pitcher Pat Jarvis.
Huh.
So you guys probably remember Jarvis, pretty damn good pitcher for the Braves in the 60s and early 70s. Won 85 games and hurt his arm, bounced over to the Expos, and was out of baseball by the end of 1973. So Pat goes back home and decides he is going to get into politics. And he is the sheriff from 1976 till 1995. He then moves into some more difficult positions in the government that give him a little bit more power. And here is what Christopher Wray said during his Senate confirmation about Jarvis. What few people knew about Jarvis is that he was guarded like a trick pitch. Was that he had a kickback scam working that prosecutors say may have earned him over $200,000, while DeKalb sheriffs were interviews. Jarvis admitted he used sham companies and sought bogus consulting fees to extract cash from food vendors, bonding companies, and maintenance firms that had contacts with the county jail. They called him the Little Bill Dog, and he was sentenced to serve 15 months in prison and fined up to $40,000. The judge said he wanted to fine him more because Jarvis had served in such a high government position and was a trusted member of the community and was just bilking people left and right.
Wow.
So Pat is served his time, was never allowed to serve in politics again, and I think he runs some kind of organics farm in the deep south now and wants to stay out of the public limelight. But
Wow.
Good
that
decision.
case, yeah, that case vaulted Christopher Wray into the limelight in Atlanta. And of course, he had several big more cases after that because of the Jarvis case, and that's what got him the position with Trump's first administration. So, all right, Pat
Is he
Jarvis.
any relation to Howard Jarvis?
No. That would be
And the
that
Prop
would be
13
phenomenal.
guy? Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so JC, you got one on this round?
Sure, why not? Let's go with another Sarah High School guy. This guy was a fabulous player. No question, Hall of Fame type credentials, several MVPs, and he eventually became the Major League Home Run King. He was convicted in 2011 of obstruction of justice in the Balco scandal. It was hard to pin him down. Greg Anderson was his trainer, and Greg spent a couple of different months in jail because he refused to rat on Barry Bonds. The 2011 obstruction of justice charge was overturned in 2015 by the Ninth Circuit Court, and the Justice Department had such a hard time with him getting him convicted, they decided they weren't going to try again. So they dismissed all charges, and Barry Bonds, although once convicted felon, is no longer, and he's clear again, and is showing up in San Francisco and doing consulting and has coached in the major leagues. So that's my round three guy, Barry Bonds.
Very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I thought you might mention him. All right. Did everybody get a round three pick?
No, I think
Teddy bear.
The teddy bear.
Teddy bear.
yeah, I
Go
still
for
gotta
it.
go. Well, my guy was once knighted in Aruba, where he's from.
Aha.
Sidney Ponson,
Yeah.
and his career derailed through multiple DUI arrests and assault charges. So apparently, Sidney is kind of a mean drunk. But
Oh,
despite his
wow.
natural talent and his legal troubles and conditioning issues, led to his release from multiple teams. He threw right-handed, and he had a fastball that did a little better than 95 plus. And he made his major league debut with the Baltimore Orioles in 1998, and he became the third player from Aruba to make it to the major leagues. But on Christmas Day, December 25th, on 2004, he was arrested in Aruba and charged with assaulting an Aruban judge following an incident about how Sidney handled his powerboat when he was out there running around. And he spent 11 days in jail, but the charges were dropped after they reached a monetary settlement and included restitution. And so he must have just, went joyriding in his boat and did all kinds of stuff. But apparently that pissed off the Dutch queen because she stripped him of his knighthood after
Oh,
that.
wow. Okay.
You don't mess with a Reuben judge, I guess, with your powerboat. Now, less than a month later, in January, he was charged again with driving under the influence in Broward County, Florida. And because of these activities, it was thought that he would not be able to enter Canada to pitch in the series against the Toronto Blue Jays in May. But a visa was granted, and he was able to make his scheduled start. So that was a little tough. I was sweating that one. And then from January, we go to August, and he was arrested again for driving under the influence while impaired in Baltimore. And then he was stopped again following too closely and was arrested in Maryland. He was later released, but after that, he just kind of disappeared and stayed to himself, out of baseball, everything. He was gone.
Yeah.
But he had it
Yeah.
all. Just couldn't handle
Yeah.
it.
Most of these guys did. Yeah. It's sad.
Absolutely.
All right. We have finished the third round. Let's do another. Brent, who starts off?
Oh, let's go with JC starting us off here.
All right. Well, I've got another picture here. This guy is a Hall of Famer, 3-time All-Star, World Series champion, AL MVP, 2-time AL Cy Young Award winner, 2-time AL wins leader. He played for the Tigers, the Senators, the Oakland Athletics, and the Atlanta Braves. 131 and 91 a 3.39 ERA. He last played for the Braves in 1972 and was convicted in 1985 for drugs and racketeering. But in 1988, that conviction was overturned. But that didn't stop him. In 1997, he was convicted for fraud involving a pension fund with reported mob involvement, and that one stuck. Denny McLean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I got a whole rap sheet on Denny McLean. He had quite a bit. He served more than 30 years. 23 years in federal prison and 8 years for another in Michigan.
He should have kept changing his name like Billy Gear.
Yeah, Billy Gear had it
Should
right.
have learned.
Hmm?
But
All
yeah.
right, who's up? Who's up, JC?
Let's go with you, Mr. Weber.
All right. I vaguely remember this guy. Major league pitcher by the name of Julio Machado. Pitched for the Mets and the Brewers during a 3-year career from 1989 to 1991. It probably would have lasted longer, but something happened in 1991. Spending the 1991 offseason in his homeland, which was, I believe, Venezuela, Machado fatally shot a woman following an auto accident on December 8th. More than 2 weeks later, Machado was missing, and the Brewers said they were planning for 1992 with the assumption that Machado would not be on the team. Though he was described as a fugitive, Venezuela reporters said that Machado would probably turn himself in after the holidays. Wow, that's an interesting stance for the police to take. Yeah, we've got a murderer out there, but he'll probably walk in here and give himself up. He was,
Right.
when he did, he actually did turn himself in, and he was held in a Caracas prison while an investigation was carried out from the middle of January to early March. Everything's going as we would think it would. He admitted that he fired the shots, but said that he did so in self-defense, afraid that he was being robbed by this woman. When Machado was granted conditional freedom pending a trial on charges of involuntary murder, I always like that term. What the heck is involuntary murder?
Oops.
He was not allowed to leave Venezuela, which gave him some time on his hands. And apparently, he and some buddies decided to set the prosecutor's car on fire. He was caught, he was convicted, and following appeals, he was sentenced to 12 years in 1996. And he served 4 of those, and he was released in 2000. His whereabouts are unknown at this time. So there's a guy that could have had a long, successful career as a relief pitcher. He had great numbers for those 3 years, but I guess not. All right.
That
Robbie.
reminds me, Robbie, of Animal House. Daniel Day-Lewis, whereabouts unknown.
Unknown.
Whereabouts unknown.
Yeah, Faber, 1962.
That's right. All right, Robbie, what do you got?
Oh, I'm glad you went to me because we're going right back to Venezuela.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Fine place. I
Yes.
hope you're not going to take my number 1 pick.
Well, you took Pinky Higgins from me. I'm going to take Ugeth Urbina from you.
Oh, good. I'm safe. I'm safe. You
Oh,
didn't
okay.
take, you,
Oh, you're going to
didn't
go.
take my-
Oh, never mind. I'm not going to tip it off. But all right.
Mhm.
I
Do you
had
remember Ugi Urbina?
Yeah,
He,
Oogie. Yeah.
He came up as a
Yes.
starter. He was pretty good, and then the Expos converted him to a closer, and he had a couple of 40 save seasons between the Expos and the Red Sox, a couple of 30 save seasons, a bunch of 20 save seasons. He was pretty good closer for 10, 11 years in Major League Baseball until one night when he was home or coming home to his family's ranch in Caracas, Venezuela, to come home and find a bunch of the workers that worked on their ranch were in the pool without permission. This apparently so upset Oogie that he went and got a machete and a bunch of gasoline and started hacking at the guys and then throwing gasoline on them, threatening them to light them on fire. He was arrested and spent 14 years in prison because he didn't like people being in his pool.
Well, I will say that every time I catch people in my pool, the first thing I reach for is
Your
my
machete?
machete
Yeah.
because, of course, I have those all over the house.
Yeah. Just you have almost as many machetes as you have pools.
Yes.
If you lived in Venezuela, you might
Yeah,
have a lot of
it's true.
machetes.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it wasn't a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the gasoline, that probably got him an extra 8 or 9 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The machete, everybody's got a machete. So,
His
Wow.
initials were UU or UUU.
yeah.
You.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think you're bringing us home again, Teddy Bear.
Okay. Well, this guy, he didn't get in trouble while he was playing baseball, but Brian McLaughlin, um, he his career spanned 9 seasons, 4 of which were with the spent in Major League Baseball with the Seattle Mariners between 77 and 80. And after his career, McLaughlin allegedly worked in the counterfeit consumers good industry in Mexico, making knockoff athletic footwear, including shoes designed to look like Converse and Vans and Adidas. And in 1990, he was arrested for trafficking in counterfeit shoes and money laundering. He pleaded guilty and to the money laundering charges and proceeded to post bail. Before being sentenced, McLaughlin filed fled with his current whereabouts unknown. So he paid his bail, got out, and then took off. Nobody knows where he is.
Yeah. That one's famous. Every once in a while, you see an article in a local newspaper or magazine of somebody who claims they saw him.
Saw
Right.
You
him?
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
He was walking with Elvis.
Yeah.
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 All right. We have completed 4 rounds.
I seen them both. I seen them both.
Yeah. We
How come
are
no?
coming
How
down
come
the home
nobody's ever
stretch.
seen with Mama Cass? That's
Yeah,
what I want to
really.
know.
Yeah.
There's like Elvis, yeah,
Yeah, that's how the song goes.
but sorry, Rob. Go ahead and do your thing.
No worries. No worries. We got one more round to go. If you would like to chime in, again, hit the microphone at the bottom of the screen. I know we're not talking about some of the big names that you have held to account by drug charges and things like that, like all those guys in the 80s that got caught, all those guys in the 90s that got caught. But I think the ones we've been coming up with tonight are pretty darn fascinating. And we'll cover some of these guys in the honorable mentions. So again, if you want to help us out, hit the mic at the bottom of the screen. You got 30 seconds to record something for us. All right, Teddy Bear, get us started on round 5. You go first. Go for it.
All right. I thought we were gonna have a commercial there for mic'd up, but
No.
okay.
Mike Duff's got they got too much publicity, too much media.
Well, this guy, I saved him for number 1 because he's a Dodger. But here's another kid that didn't know how good he had it and didn't know when to stop. But Steve Howe was the Rookie of the Year in 1980, and his career was defined by his ongoing battle with cocaine addiction. And despite numerous chances of redemption, Howe received 7 drug-related suspensions from MLB, and that's a record that still stands today. 7 suspensions. You can't mess up. They gave him every chance that he could, but
Very impressive.
his permanent ban in 1992 and a tragic death in a drug-related accident in 2006 serves as a sobering reminder that addiction it has a devastating impact. Nothing really ever good comes of those drugs. So be mindful of that. He had it all and
So,
he let it go.
Yep.
so Brent, I was looking through a box during the downtime here over the holidays,
Yeah.
and I found a program for the 1986 San Jose Bees.
Okay.
Now, if you don't remember what the Bees were uh, the San Jose independent team, which occurred between the San Jose Missions and the San Jose Giants. So there
Oh,
was a period of time when the Giants were unaffiliated, or when San Jose was unaffiliated,
okay.
and they ran a team and they were trying to draw people out to the ballpark. So the entire roster is made up of people who had run-ins with the law,
Mm.
including Steve Howe.
Steve
Steve
Howe.
Howe
Okay.
played here. Daryl Thomas, Daryl Cias, Mike Norris, Ken Reitz. All of these guys played with the San Jose Bees in 1986, trying to get that second chance at the big leagues. Really
Okay.
interesting. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
They weren't just there trying to get a dime bag somewhere in the stands.
Well,
Okay.
that could have happened too. Yeah, that could have happened too.
Wouldn't put it
Yeah.
past them.
Yep.
All
All right.
right.
So who's up now?
Let's go with Robbie.
All right. Good. I mean, this is kind of a depressing topic for the night before Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So I wanted at least to try to end it on the hero's arc type of story.
Oh no, it's a Rabbit Moranville. Must have got jailed at some point.
Never convicted. So
Yeah.
Rabbit Moranville stands free and clear of this list tonight.
Mhm.
Okay.
But Hank Thompson, who played for the New York Giants, when Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier, a lot of people talk about that, but the Giants really were the team that went out and loaded up, and they had an outfield of Monty Irvin, Willie Mays, and Hank Thompson. And Hank Thompson was really an incredible hitter. For a guy, I think he was 5'7" or 5'8". He had 20 home runs several times. I mean, they went to the World Series twice while he was still playing there. He had excelled in the Negro Leagues, and he was clearly on his way to stardom at the same time. And unfortunately, he had alcohol issues and womanizer issues, and his career ended far too soon compared to what it should have been. I mean, if they'd been able to keep Irvin Mays and Hank Thompson together throughout the 50s, they probably would have had one or two more World Series appearances, I think. He was that good of a player. During his first year out of baseball, the problem with Hank was Hank spent the money faster than he actually took it in. So he was virtually penniless when he left baseball. He was arrested for stealing a car, charged with unlawful entry and third degree assault of a woman who I guess she refused to lend him money. So the car theft charges were dropped because I guess he didn't do any damage to the car, but it was a different time, folks. He served a week in jail for the assault.
Wow.
Wow.
Then, while he was living in Brooklyn, in 1961, he held up a local bar that he went to all the time.
No one
Oh, hey, Hank.
Oh yeah, he's thinking now.
Yeah.
They'll never
He
recognize
was convicted of stealing $37 from that robbery. But Horace Stoneham intervened, and the owner of the Giants intervened and got him probation. So in 1963, Hank was kind of drifting around the country, and he ended up in Houston, where he held up a liquor store at gunpoint for $270. That cost him armed robbery conviction and 10 years in prison. So, but here's the hero's arc, right?
Yeah.
Apparently, in prison, it was kind of the slap in the face that he needed. He joined AA, got involved with the church groups in prison. He became a trustee, and they let him coach the prison baseball team. And then on his own, he began a counseling program for first time offenders that were sent to prison. So he actually like kind of understood the error of his ways, and because of what he did and all of that, his behavior got him out after just 4 years. He moved to Fresno to live with his mother to care for her as she was aging, and he got a job as a playground director and began working with troubled teens and was really
Oh, wow.
contributing to that community. So There were even plans for a movie about his life starring Sidney Poitier that were underway. But unfortunately, he had a heart attack a year later and passed away. But I'd still like to see that movie.
Oh yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
Good for him.
All right, that was uplifting. I
yeah,
feel
we got to
better.
finish right. Yeah, a guy that you wanted to root for and you couldn't, then you could again. So that's
Yeah,
good.
I'm thankful that you shared that story
Well, yeah,
here on
think about it tomorrow when you're with your 40 COVID-ridden family members at your
That's
Thanksgiving
right,
dinner.
right.
And it's not your family either. That's the thing. Somebody else's family is going to make you sick once again. But anyway, what do you got, Teddy Bear?
I did mine. That was Steve.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. I guess the JC.
All right. Well, after that uplifting story, I'm going to bring us all down. This is another Hall of Famer, reputed to have done much worse than what he was convicted for. He pled guilty to assaulting a watchman who was intervening while this player was trying to beat up a 15-year-old elevator operator. Uh, this this player had a 366 lifetime average,
Wow.
897 steals, 4,189 hits. Ty Cobb, the Georgia Peach. He was reputed to have attempted murder of a black groundskeeper during spring training in 1907. And in 1914, he pulled a gun during an argument in a butcher shop and pled guilty to assault. And in 1914, he paid a hefty fine of $50 for that. So that's his convictions. He supposedly had committed a murder earlier in his life, and if you watch the movie Cobb, uh, you'll see that he did a lot in his later life
Yeah,
with guns and alcohol, and he was a wild man, according to what I have been able to research. Tyrus
yep,
Cobb.
yep. Not the greatest of people. That's for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, Robbie,
But
you finished?
but I wanna bring it home with probably the one of the worst human beings. I read this and I can't understand how somebody could have done these things. But I'm gonna read it to you. And I know Robbie was trying to bring us up, but like JC said, I'm gonna bring it down. This is all about you know criminal records and well earned criminal records.
Well, you're about
Let's
to go to
talk
your
about.
COVID cesspool. I can see why you're angry.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Better take a machete.
That's right.
And a gallon of gas.
So you guys have probably heard of Chicago Cubs pitcher Sergio Mitre. Okay. He was a significant member of the Cubs rotation 2003 to 2005,
Hmm.
and then bounced around to the Marlins, the Yankees, the Brewers, and then back to the Yankees again, finishing his career in 2011. Um, he did get punched in the major leagues once for drug use, um, took responsibility for it, and for all we knew, he would be an upstanding member of society after he retired. Boy, were we wrong. He did bounce around, play some more ball in Japan and Mexico. In nine, in 19, or I'm sorry, in 2019, while playing for Saltillo in the Mexican League, Mitre was arrested on suspicion of assaulting a woman after employees at the Quality Inn alerted authorities of a domestic violence situation taking place inside of a suite. Following his arrest, um, Mitre's, the owner of the team denounced Mitre's actions and suspended him, but Mitre paid his way out of it, forking over 20,000 pesos. But this was just the tip of the iceberg. In July of 2020, Mitre was arrested in Saltillo for possession of marijuana. On July 14th, Mitre was charged with femicide and aggravated statutory rape over the death and possible sexual assault of his girlfriend's daughter, who was 22 months old.
Oof.
That's what femicide is, if you guys didn't know.
Mm.
He was booked into the Saltillo prison. After the charges were announced, Mitre was released by the team and suspended indefinitely by the Mexican League. The statutory rape charges were later dropped after evidence showed the girl was not sexually assaulted. On January 20th of 2022, Maitre was sentenced to 50 years in prison, 50 years in prison, after being convicted in Mexico for femicide and the murder of his then girlfriend's 22-month-old daughter. He was ordered to issue a public apology and pay the equivalent of $1.4 million in damages for his actions. His lawyers have announced they will appeal, but here we are in almost 2026, and nobody's getting him out of jail anytime soon.
Mhm.
So he is an awful human being on all counts.
Yeah.
Sergio Mitre. So, all right, there. See, I left us on a high and happy note, right?
Yeah, you're high, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I may need another beer.
What have you been smoking?
We did get one call in.
Okay, maybe this will bring us up.
Happy Thanksgiving, boys.
Oh,
Date night at the Shanks house.
Yeah.
all right, all right.
There we go.
I do feel better now. I feel better. So we probably don't have time to do any honorable mentions. We could probably do another 2 or 3 shows with all of the terrible people that we found in this research.
Yeah.
I would dispute that. It should be dishonorable mentions.
Yes, dishonorable mentions would be the right thing. Maybe we'll come back to this topic at some future date because we always do well when we go low. So because we're low life. So anyway, I thank JC, Brent, and Robbie for joining us on the show, and we'll be back here next Wednesday with another show. We'll figure out that topic here soon. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. You guys got anything to say?
Thanks to Almanac.
Thanks to
Thanks,
Almanac.
Almanac. Everybody
We need
enjoy
more
their
beer,
families.
boys. We need more beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, Robbie, play us out.